Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to a new free-to-play Ultimate Iron Man video. So, I wasn't planning to make a new one until I got 89 smithing, but I got 85 last night, and 85 is the level where I can smelt rune and +1 boost for a rune hatchet, so I figured it was a decent time for a video. First time to do a little bit of wilderness adventures on the Ultimate Iron Man and try to get some rune ores, and I did end up doing that to try to get a rune axe, so I could do a little bit of woodcutting just as a small break from the smithing grind. So I recorded all of that and just want to make a quick video, bit of progress and my wilderness runite mining adventures. So I started off by going to Draenor and buying a full inventory of wines because they're really cheap to get and they heal I think 11 HP each, so that's like the third best food in free-to-play, or maybe fourth best food in free-to-play behind swordfish, lobsters, and some kind of pizza. They're really easy to get, and I figured they'd be plenty enough food for the wilderness. Next thing I did was I went back to Lumbridge and picked up a steel axe, and the reason for this is so I could take canoes up to the wilderness. I didn't realize that I can't actually use the canoe up to the wilderness even from Edgeville, unless I have higher woodcutting, but I at least ended up taking the canoe from the Champions Guild up to Edgeville, and then I had to walk up there from that point. So I made sure to protect my items by dying to the evil chicken, which now resides in the Champions Guild. It only takes maybe a minute or two to kill me right now. I still have pretty low defense, so it's pretty convenient for that. And basically the reason I do this is because there is a 1 hour death timer, like for your items to stay on the ground, and so if I die, then I have an hour where I can go and do anything that I want, including die again, without my items being destroyed. So if I go up into the wilderness and somebody PKs me, then all of my stuff will still be on the ground until an hour has passed. So it's an easy way to protect my laws, because that is like 150 hours still of laws in the inventory, like collection-wise, and it would be very sad if I lost all of those. And if you die to a PKer, then obviously they get your stuff, but if you die to an NPC, then nobody else can take your stuff, and after an hour it will just completely be destroyed. Another option I probably could have gone with is dying to the Scorpion in the monastery, the Prayer Guild. That would have been a decent option too, but I decided to just do the evil chicken. They probably both work pretty well. So I did go up and scout on my main first, and I'm definitely glad that I did that. I went up to the rocks on my main and hopped around in the free-to-play worlds to see if any of them were open, and also to see if there were many PKers or teams or anything around. I hopped through all of the worlds, and I think there was maybe one world that had the rune rocks up, and there was a bunch of PKers there. I think I got PK'd like 2 or 3 times on my main, because I didn't bring any items or anything. I was just checking, scoping it out. There was a team of like 5 or 6 people. The guys were like saying how there's one guy who saw me, recognized, knew my username and stuff, and knew that I had a free-to-play account, and he was like, "Oh, I know what you're doing. You're scouting for your ultimate." So I was like, "Shit!" They figured me out. I was pretty nervous that they were gonna be hopping around waiting for me. So when I did take the canoe up to Edgeville, I had to walk all the way up there, and that was just hoping that there were no PKers in low wilderness, because I didn't actually scout at all there. I just was scouting from the canoe spot onwards on my main. But I got up there no problem, and then I just followed my main at a distance so that my main was kind of like sticking out way ahead, to make sure that, if PKers were up deeper, then they would attack my main first, and then I could log on my ultimate. And there was also another dude there that was actually Metal Munir. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, but he's the rank 3 free-to-play ultimate. That was one of his other accounts. He wanted to come along too, just to see how it went and stuff. So I got up there no problem. There ran into no PKers at all, and once I got into the spot to mine, I just logged out, and because the rocks were mined out, so I just logged out there and waited and kept scouting on my main and waited until I found an open rock, and there were no rocks open for a bit. So I ended up just having to sit and wait on one world until they spawned. So after not too long, I did find some rune rocks that had just respawned on my main, and I quickly logged in, and I had my main underneath me at this spot, so hopefully if somebody came by they would see my main and not the other account first. And I began mining. I don't think I've ever actually mined a rune rock in like ever in RuneScape, and they look really cool when they are spawned. So I got the first one pretty quickly. That 125 mining XP drop was really strange to see. And I was going for the second one. I figured, why not? It's right there. I may as well get another rune ore. I could just get a little bit of GP out of it, if nothing else. And it was taking a while. I was starting to get a little bit nervous. I had my my mouse on the logout button and staring at the minimap to see if any white dots showed up. And I decided to just bail after a little while, because I was getting a little bit too nervous. So I just decided to take off, run energy on, runite ore in the inventory, and just hope and pray that I could get down to level 20 wilderness without anybody finding me, so I could home teleport. So I did manage to make it down to level 20 wilderness without running into any problems. Clicked the home teleport, waited, and successfully made it back to Lumbridge with Runite ore in the inventory. Now I know a fair amount of people are going to be somewhat critical of the fact that I use my main to basically benefit my Iron Man and protect myself, scout, and potentially tank and that kind of stuff. And it's definitely true that it might not be so much in the spirit of Iron Man. I definitely would have died if I didn't do that. That team up there that killed my main a couple of times definitely would have killed me because I would have been hopping around and ran into them pretty quickly. I guess I probably eventually could have managed to do it on my ultimate, but it just would have been more of a hassle, and it's the wilderness, anything goes, but I do understand if you are somewhat critical of how I went about it, but I didn't really feel like going through a bunch of headache and losing my pickaxe and having to waste GP to get it back and waste a whole bunch more time, so I took the somewhat more safe route and played it smart and did things within the still within the game rules themselves. It's not like I was breaking any rules, but maybe not in the spirit of Iron Man, I suppose. But made it back to the Champions Guild in plenty of time. I think the whole thing took me maybe about half an hour. Got my 7.2k laws back and all the rest of my items, and it's time to go and get some coal and make this bar. So I figured the mining guild was probably a pretty good place to get the coal. You do need 8 lumps of coal to make 1 runite bar, so went and grabbed those real quick, and then went back to Falador to the furnace. Made sure to grab some dwarven stouts in the pub in Falador before I headed to the anvils, because I do need to do a +1 boost, because you actually need 86 smithing to make a rune axe, but basically anything that you want to make through smithing in free-to-play, you can just get 1 level lower and +1 boost, and it saves a ton of time. The whole time I've been doing smithing, the rune bar has been in like red text because I can't actually make it yet, and it was really weird to see it not in red text on the smithing interface, so that was cool. But there is the 1 runite bar, and all of the time and effort that went into it is pretty crazy, and time to head over to the Varrock anvils and make it into a hatchet. And after about 450 hours of smithing and like 500 hours of ranging to collect laws, we finally made a rune hatchet. So there we go. Time to do a little bit of woodcutting. Looks really nice. It took so much time to get that. It's insane, but it feels so good to finally have a useful and unique smithing only item on my free-to-play Iron Man. So gonna do some woodcutting. Not exactly sure how much yet, but we'll see. So with woodcutting, of course, comes fire making also. They go hand in hand on Ultimate Iron Man, and I've been woodcutting the willows near the crafting guild and then lighting fires kind of around in a circle around the trees so that I end up back where I started and don't have to like waste any time walking to a certain place to light fires or walking back. And I really like this method. It's really fun. It's a nice combination. Like I haven't actually been 3-tick with snow, 3-ticking the trees or anything, just because I'm playing my main account and I can't really be bothered. But maybe if I keep doing this for a while, I would consider doing it. I did bring the reindeer head, of course, just in case I want to. But yeah, this method is pretty fun. It's a nice combination of like you get a bit of engagement with the fire making, and then you can AFK for a bit while you're chopping the trees. So I'm not exactly sure how long I'm actually going to do this for. My plan is just to go until 57 woodcutting for the highest level canoe, so that for the future when I go up to the wilderness, I can go up to the canoe spot in there and it'll just be more convenient. But I'm really liking this. I'm already at 56. I think actually no, I think I'm at 57 actually. So I've already gotten there. It didn't take very long at all, maybe like 3 or 4 hours from 41. And I think I'm just going to keep going and see how far I feel like taking it. I don't really think I'm going to go all the way to 99 just because that would take somewhere around 400 hours, I think. And the main thing that's really making it so I don't want to do that right now is because my inventory isn't completely empty. It would be nice to use up all my laws and then get rid of my pickaxe and then do woodcutting just so I could have those extra few inventory spaces. It wouldn't really affect the XP rates at all, but it would just feel a little bit nicer. But I may take this until like 70 or something. I guess we'll see. But yeah, that's it for this progress video. Hope you guys enjoyed. The next one probably will be 89 smithing because I will be getting back to smithing pretty soon, most likely. And continuing it until I get the 89 so I can +1 boost for the rune scimitar. But I figured I'd make a quick video today with my wilderness adventures and making the rune axe because it was pretty fun. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys all later.